far, we've talked about bullying at a micro level where individuals choose to do it, and a macro level of larger social forces that will take generations to undo. But there is a middle level that you can work on as well, and that is organizing to change the conditions in your school and community that set the student body up for bullying to happen. Schools generally pack large numbers of students into a small space with little control over what they do, when they do it, who they're with, or their working conditions. Different people have different ways of coping with that, but feeling powerless to exert control over one's life is something that can cause people to either lash out generally or to look for someone weaker than themselves to exert control over. The classic example is a parent who feels helpless at work, comes home and yells at their kid, who then hits their little sibling. In a school environment, racism, sexism, ableism, and so on are sitting right there as tools that American culture practically begs people to use to coerce others into conforming to a very narrow way of being. Anytime you have a sizable number of people trying to gain a sense of control over anything, somebody's going to reach for those and or make up their own random things to try to force everyone to conform to. Everyone has to have the same shoe or, whatever it is. An option, if it's useful to you, is to turn this desire for control outward into organizing to change something about your school. Now, everything we've talked about regarding using power well still applies. Schools exist in a context. They have a mission to educate students according to the learning standards set by each state. You cannot just go hog wild and try to turn your school into a place where anyone can do anything they want anytime with no consideration for others. You will get shut down very quickly. But when you use curiosity and connection to find out what the adults in your school want, you have enormous power to shape how that gets done. Speaking as a former teacher, the more that you organize to make your teachers' jobs easier and more successful, the more buy-in you can get for what you want to do. The key is to have fun and ways that work for everyone, including your teachers and the school district's accountability standards, and to use your social brain to solve problems that other people have, not just your own. While it doesn't always work, you can earn a greater say in what happens around you by showing that you are able to prioritize other people's interests, including those of your future self, as well as what you want right now. In the US, there's an assumption that this ability kicks in at the age of majority, but in actuality, you can master it at much younger ages. And while not everyone will be receptive, you'll often find that when you use power to help other people get what they want, they will give you more of it. It's basically building trust. The key is to recognize what you have the power to do right now and use it to make connections and help people effectively solve their problems. That's all organizing really is. So I hope you found this series helpful. There's a lot of material in here that we've only scratched the surface of, but I hope it's given you a helpful overview of different avenues to explore. You're not alone, and you don't need to tackle this alone. Good luck.